Everyone. I know a lot of you are so eager to get into Canvas and to get training, and I'm excited and I am hoping we can get together soon for a live training that is sort of specific to us and what we do as opposed to Canvas as a whole. But we still have some decisions that have to be made behind the scenes and figure out some of those settings and things that we're going to use for our school as opposed to just what's there in general. So that's coming. I'm not quite sure what that's going to look like, but I did want to give you just a quick video today to kind of get started here. There are two places to go to get started that I think will give you a really good overview on how Canvas works. The first is the training services portal, which is down here on the left under help. And you have to scroll down a little bit, but it says training services portal. And you may be asked to authorize when you go through. I think I have this open in one of my other 17 tabs, so it didn't ask me to authorize, but usually it does. So that's okay. Go ahead and hit authorize. And then there's a little tutorial when you get started, and you can watch that. But what I want to call your attention to on here is that this training services portal has a whole bunch of courses, and then they've got about four what they call learning pathways. And so this learning pathway called K-12 First Day Ready is so helpful in getting used to understanding kind of what Canvas is, how it works, and all of that. So within that learning pathway, there are four, I believe, courses. The first one is called Opening Canvas. So just sort of like, where do I go for things? Where's my profile? How do I adjust notifications? How do I navigate this whole thing? And then it goes into creating a Canvas course and it talks about how Canvas is set up. And so one thing that I was thinking about with this is that Canvas and Moodle do essentially the same thing, but they are set up to do it a little bit differently. So if you think about using a Mac versus using a PC, like they're both computers, they both do computery things, but the buttons are in different places and you don't have a right click button on your Mac. And if you've ever tried to switch from one to the other, you know it feels a little uncomfortable for a while until it starts to feel natural. So just kind of keep in mind that that's going to be your feeling with Canvas for a while. And I'll explain a little bit more in a little while, sort of what some of those major differences are that I've experienced so far. But this is a really helpful course to get you familiarized with where all those things are in Canvas so you can start to wrap your mind around that. So once they show you kind of the framework of how to create a course, then they go into assignments and assessments, and then grading and feedback. And so that ever popular, where's the grade book question, they really go into depth in that. So before you really get into anything, I would highly recommend going through this pathway and just get yourself familiar with what Canvas does and how it does it, and try to start to be thinking about how to remove your preconceptions about the way we've done things for such a long time in Moodle, because it's just going to look a little bit different. So once you've gone through that, back on your Canvas dashboard, you also will have a course called Growing with Canvas. And I think a lot of this is probably similar content, but this kind of gives you the tools to be in Canvas at the time, and you get to experience this class as a student, which is kind of nice because then you can really see that student view and get a feel for what it feels like as a student. Plus, you get to see some of the ways that they have set this up to make it a little bit more visually appealing, engaging, etc. And those are all tricks and tools that we can utilize as well. So they kind of take you through each of the modules here. So those are the two main places. But this brings me to talking a little bit about some of the differences I've found between Moodle and Canvas as I've gone through it so far. So we are used to in Moodle, for your class page, it's sort of all on one page, right? If you create an assignment or a quiz or something, it takes you to another page to that. But for the most part, a lot of what we're putting in all shows up on that main course homepage. So you just scroll down and down and down through the weeks. So Canvas doesn't really operate that way. What Canvas does is it has utilizes pages to sort of path you through things. And so there also there's just a lot of linking that you're doing here in Canvas. I hope that makes sense. And so this, if I click on this picture to introduction or on the link here to introduction, it's going to take me to another page. Whoops, actually it's going to take me to the module. Sorry about that. So the modules is the most similar to what we're used to looking at in Moodle, but rather than being able to put a label in here with a whole bunch of text and explanation for that week, the most you can really put in is like a little header, and then the page inside that module is where you're going to put all that information. So the module is really just an organizational structure. The actual content goes into all the stuff within that module. Hopefully that kind of makes sense. But you can see like this has the welcome, rather than being listed under there, is its own page from here. And then there's usually things that are linked in here, or you can click next to go to the next step in that module. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. But it's just that's one of the biggest things I've found having to adjust to in terms of Canvas versus Moodle and the way that that works. So a couple of other things I want to show you real quick. The first is that we all have one of these sandbox courses. That's literally a place for you to play. It stays unpublished if you want to try making a page, if you want to play around with how to do the navigation and linking things and what a test looks like in here, or what an assignment looks like, or check out the grade book, all of that stuff. The sandbox is a great place to do that, and it just can kind of be a mishmash of everything. Now, if you want to get more specific and you really want to start framing out your course, because I know some of you are super eager to do that, and I get that because I am also super eager to do that, you can create those courses, but leave them unpublished, because what's going to happen, hopefully, is that our student information system, our SIS, will send over all of the enrollment information and all of the courses to Canvas. And so anything that we create won't have that link back with all the student enrollment and all of that. So those will be the classes that students actually are enrolled into, because it's all going to come from SIS, hopefully. And then anything you make in your own unpublished courses, you can really quickly and easily import into those real classes, the ones that the students will actually utilize. But we just don't want it to get confusing for you or for the students to have like multiple, oh, here's the Algebra 2 practice course, but then here's the Algebra 2 class that students can actually enroll. Like just um, keeping them unpublished will help with that confusion. And then the last question that I've been seeing a lot of is importing from Moodle. And so in your course, if you start, I made this one as a demo and I did publish it because I wanted, if you're interested, let me know and I can put you in as a student, but I wanted us to be able to have a place to kind of see not only what Canvas puts together as a demo, but like for our actual teaching process, what a demo might look like. So let me know if you want to be added, and I'm happy to put you in here as a student as well. But that's the reason why this is published. But if you go down to settings for your course, on the right is going to be a link to import course content. And as long as you've made a backup from your Moodle course, like we're supposed to do at the end of each semester, and if you haven't, there's a link, there's a Google Doc that tells you how to do that. So you'll basically download that file of a backup, and then you can upload it right into Canvas. I will caution you, depending on what you have in your course, it may or may not be a great transition to just go straight through. If you have quizzes or tests, those are a lot of work to build, and they do import fairly well. So that would be a great thing to import. If you had a lot of labels, or if you utilized the lessons feature, those things don't import as well, and it would probably be easier and cleaner to just sort of recreate those by either saving the content as a Word document or setting up the structure in here. They call it like a shell, and then copying and pasting that into here rather than trying to do an import for some of those other kinds of things. But go ahead and try it with your course and see, and you'll get a feel for, what works and what doesn't, and um, what you want to keep versus what you want to rebuild. So I know for me, like I didn't really want to do this transition, but as we're here, I'm realizing that it's an opportunity for me to rethink. I was using so little of what Moodle could do. I didn't think that I was, but I see now that I was. And as I've spent like 4,000 hours on YouTube trying to understand Canvas, I'm discovering there's so many cool things that you may or may not want to do. And I get it if you don't want to try a bunch of new things right now, but um, there's still a lot of opportunities here. And so for me has been a bit of a chance to rethink and reimagine what my course could look like, and a chance to, level up a little bit this summer on the way that I'm doing that. So just keep that in mind too, as well as you're transitioning over, that you can utilize what training and YouTube videos there are out there for Canvas to really push yourself to the next level. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. I'm going to put some Google Slides with it with links to all of the stuff that I was talking about. But big picture, you've got your help training services portal. You've got your Growing with Canvas course on your dashboard, two great resources to get you started, and then your sandbox to play in. All right, have a great day. Thank you.